after looking glass. 7 years of bad luck with the things in your past. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer.
One of my favorite Stevie Wonder tracks. Let that ride, Miles. Let that ride. Stevie sounding good today. If you're in Southern California, tonight is the Minnie Riperton tribute. You recall we had a great hour yesterday talking about the Minnie Riperton show that features everybody tonight on stage at the Hollywood Bowl, headlined by one Stevie Wonder, who produced that track, that album that featured the big song "Lovin'." He co-produced that along with Richard Rudolph, Minnie's husband. Now her widower. He was on this program yesterday, and so we had a great hour talking about the grand and rich musical legacy of Minnie Riperton. And so there's a big tribute tonight on stage at the Hollywood Bowl here in Southern California. George Benson, Stevie, everybody. He's going to be giving some love tonight to Minnie Riperton. So appropriate to play some Stevie Wonder. Not to mention that I just had a conversation about the House of Diggs, about Charles C. Diggs Jr., who was the first black congressman out of Michigan. And now I'm still in Michigan with a guest I'm going to talk to in just a second, after I tell you that on the backside of this hour, we'll talk to Justin J. Pearson. I'm going to travel from Michigan all the way down to Tennessee, and we'll talk to one of those two brilliant Justins, Justin J. Pearson, about Donald Trump's threat to send the National Guard to Memphis. We'll do that on the backside of this hour. But I'm pleased to welcome to this program right now Abdul El-Sayed, who is a U.S. Senate candidate, dubbed Michigan's Mamdani. He's the Michigan Mamdani, they call him. Host of the podcast America Dissected. What's fascinating about Mr. El-Sayed is that he is a physician, an epidemiologist to be exact, running as a public servant for Michigan's open U.S. Senate seat, and I'm delighted to welcome him to this program. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Better now that I'm with you.
Oh, man, thank you for the time. Let me just start with this. What does it mean in a moment like this? And I don't need to color this anymore for you. I know you'll get exactly what I'm pushing toward. What does it mean to be a physician in this moment running for high office?
It means watching the president of the United States pretend like he spent the amount of time studying that you did, 4 years of medical school, listening to people's pain and understanding how best to take care of them, when he goes and he misinterprets cherry-picked data to misinform and disinform the public about everything from Tylenol to vaccines. It means watching our federal public health agencies get absolutely gutted by a guy who doesn't know better than to go swimming in a creek that he was told was rich with E. coli and to bring his grandkids. And it means having a real authentic fear for what it means when people lose their Medicaid and potentially watch as AI makes decisions that remand their doctors on Medicare. So this is a moment when anybody who believes in the things that one learned about the scientific process and what it could be used to heal has to stand up and fight. And that's exactly what I'm doing here in Michigan.
The politics in D.C. right now are so ugly. Why would you even want to go to Washington as a politician, from Michigan or any place else for that matter?
I'll tell you this, I don't really want to go. I need to go. And this is one of those things. I grew up on the child of Egyptian immigrants, and my folks would send me back to the old country every summer where I'd sit down with my grandmother, wisest, most intelligent person I've ever met, but she never got to go to school. She lost 2 babies before the age of 1. Now, I could go 15 hours to Alexandria, where my father grew up in a 1-bedroom apartment with his 5 siblings of the 8 total that his mom gave birth to. Or I could go 15 minutes in the city of Detroit. Either way, I was crossing 10 years difference in life expectancy. My career has been about trying to address that. And right now, the fight means that you got to go to Washington, both to protect what we've got when it comes to healthcare access for the poorest, most underserved people in our country, but also to rebuild after the disaster of what we're seeing from RFK Jr. and Donald Trump. And so this is not about what I want to do. This is about what I feel called to do as a doctor, as a child of immigrants, as somebody who spent my career serving people who've been underserved and downtrodden by our system, and somebody who believes deeply in my state and that we deserve better.
Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Michigan. Just getting started with him. More when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it?
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at kbla1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community focused. So just go to kbla1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
They call him Michigan Mamdani. Abdul El-Sayed is, according to Bernie Sanders, one of the brightest young stars in the future of the progressive movement. I'm honored to have him on this program to talk about his Senate campaign again in the state of Michigan. You mentioned RFK Jr. Let me start by asking what your critique of RFK Jr. is.
Well, number one, I think he's got the right problems, very much the wrong solution. See, I too agree that our food environment has been corrupted by huge corporations. I too agree that pharmaceuticals are too expensive and the pharmaceutical industry is a real problem. The issue, though, is that his solutions aren't really based in the science. The problem with food isn't that there's too much red dye in it. The problem with food is that we are subsidizing huge agribusiness to grow a bunch of corn and a bunch of soy rather than the vegetables and the meat products that are really nourishing for us. We don't have enough of the micronutrients that grow a brain and too much of the macronutrients that grow a belly. And when it comes to pharma, it's not that they don't make medications that we need and we deserve. It's that they make them too expensive. And so I just think he gets the right problem and the wrong solution. And this is a guy who comes in with a set of ideological presuppositions about what's wrong and has been focused on trying to deliver on that ideology rather than be led by the science, which guides us to what we need to do. And the other problem is that he's fundamentally unable to understand that he's a scion of an extremely wealthy family in the Kennedys. He doesn't understand the experience of low-income folk, Black and brown folk across our country when you start destroying programs like Medicaid, when you start messing with HHS. The people who tend to be hurt the most tend to be the folks who always get hurt most when government messes around. And I worry that a lot of what we've seen out of HHS is going to fall hardest on the kinds of communities that I served, whether in Wayne County or in Detroit.
I spent some time inside of your text. I hope you'll appreciate that, preparing for this conversation. The book is called Healing Politics, A Doctor's Journey into the Heart of Our Political Epidemic. I repeat, Healing Politics, the name of the book, A Doctor's Journey into the Heart of Our Political Epidemic. I loved that phrase, our political epidemic. Unpack that for me.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you reading it. It's a great honor to hear that you took the time to engage with my work. A political epidemic is one that we all suffer, but sometimes we think we suffer alone. And the thing about an epidemic is that it starts to change the circumstances around us. We all know that from COVID-19. And the epidemic I'm talking about in that book is the epidemic of insecurity. Insecurity is this interesting experience wherein we may have what we need or we may not, but we're constantly anxious about losing what we have or never getting it at all. And it shapes our engagement with politics, what makes it a political epidemic, in the way that it has us constantly asking, how do I protect what I got? Rather than, how can I work with my neighbor, my loved one, my friend, the people in my community to build what we can all have, but only together? And I'll tell you, in the course of this campaign, I've been out of 57 different cities, done over 100 public events. No matter where I go, people tell me it just shouldn't be this hard. But the question is, are we willing to have nice things, and are we willing to work with each other to get them? Can we reach across the divides that people tell us we can't breach, whether they are geography or race or ethnicity or faith or sexual orientation or gender identity, to get those things? And that's what I was trying to write on in that book.
Yep. To your mind, what is driving, what's behind this epidemic of insecurity, as you put it?
Well, it's the way that our experiences over the past 30 years have shown us that when anybody steps up and says that we want to fix something, it almost ends up always getting worse. We're watching as corporations have been able to buy and sell politicians in ways that leave them rigging the system against us. It means that regardless of the circumstance of our life, whether it's our utilities or it's our healthcare or it's our groceries, we watch as those corporations are able to buy each other up, get bigger, suppress the wages for the work that we do for them, and then raise the prices for the things that we have to buy from them. And it ends up meaning that we're getting further and further away from the opportunity that we need and deserve, regardless of the circumstances of our lives.
I note the work you've done in your career helping to erase $700 million in medical debt for thousands, tens of thousands of Michiganders. Talk to me about what you've learned about medical debt and why it still is at the top of the list of the things that most often bankrupt fellow citizens.
Yeah, Brother Tavis, I'll give you a statistic that really should scare all of us. That if you get a cancer diagnosis in these United States of America, the richest, most powerful country in the world, 2/3 of the time you're going to wind up in bankruptcy because you got cancer. The collective medical debt in our country is about $225 billion. To put that in perspective, that is more than the GDP of half of all US states. And you shouldn't have to worry about losing your financial future because you got sick. But that's a circumstance that we find ourselves in our American healthcare system. And it doesn't have to be that way. We make choices about allowing it to be that way. And the big reason why is because we allow both healthcare, the provision of healthcare, and health insurance to stay for-profit entities, right? When CEOs are incentivized to make more money for their entity, it is in effect for-profit. And when you do this both on the insurance side and on the healthcare provision side, the clinics and the doctors and the hospitals that you go to, it means nobody has an incentive to look out for the patient, which means healthcare gets more and more expensive, which means you get things like deductibles, which is the money you have to pay when you get sick for the healthcare you thought you already paid for when your pay got garnished every 2 weeks or 4 weeks. These are choices that we allow politicians to make for us as a function of the way that these industries operate in our politics to dictate the rules of the game. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to keep living this way. We don't want to live in an America where a cancer diagnosis literally adds insult to injury because you're bound to face financial calamity simply because you got sick.
Not unlike, excuse me, not unlike Zoran Mamdani in New York City, Bernie Sanders, as I mentioned a moment ago, refers to Mr. El-Sayed as one of the brightest young stars in the future of the progressive movement. I want to just go there for a second and discuss 2 or 3 things right quick. Number one, they're calling you the Michigan Mamdani, and yet you and I both know that Michigan is not New York City. You take my point.
No, I absolutely take your point. They may call me that, but at some point maybe they'll call Zohran the New York Abdul. But until we get there, what I'll tell you is we run a very different campaign. I'm born and raised in Michigan, right? I'm a child of this state. I went to the University of Michigan. I bleed blue. I came back to this state after spending some time abroad for graduate school, both in the UK and in fact in New York. And so I've been up and down the state. And interestingly, right, I represent very different parts of the state. I was raised by my father, but also my white American stepmom, who's a daughter of the American Revolution. And I've been able to see and understand my state from a whole bunch of different vantage points. And so this is not my first time running for office. I ran for governor back in 2018, crisscrossed my state. So Michiganders know I am nobody but Abdul. And they know me as the guy who showed up to put tens of thousands of glasses on kids' faces, to eliminate $700 million of medical debt, to put air quality monitors across my county where I served in Wake County, to put Narcan, life-saving anti-overdose medication, in 100 locations in Wayne County. And I'm the guy who wrote the book on Medicare for All. So I am Michigan's Abdul, and that's who I aim to be.
Yeah, he's rather modest. He mentioned that he spent some time in the UK. I kind of chuckled when he said that. I had the honor earlier in my career, Abdul, of debating in the Oxford Union. It was a great honor to be invited to debate in the Oxford Union, but I was no Rhodes Scholar at Oxford. So that's what he was doing in the UK. He's a little bit modest. He's a Rhodes Scholar, and that's a high cotton, as we say in my neighborhood. Let me ask, speaking of Zoran, you have seen, of course, the way that he has been treated or maltreated by the establishment. It's become just a running story to this day still. I saw Governor Kathy Hochul, we discussed, endorsed him the other day. Kamala Harris has now said she supports the Democratic nominee. She didn't call him by name, but she said, I support the Democratic nominee for mayor in New York City. But Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and much of the establishment still just, he's out there floating. Now, I believe at this point, as I'm watching this race from Los Angeles, he may not even need the establishment at this point. He may not even need them to pull this off at this point. I digress on that for now. My question is, you see how he's being treated or maltreated by the establishment. How are they treating you in Michigan?
Well, I'll tell you this. Number one, you would think that the party, after taking an absolute drubbing in 2024, might be looking for somebody who can do something that hasn't been done since Barack Obama did it in 2008, which is flip the demographics of the electorate. He brought more young folk out than more senior folk turned out, which, you want high turnout for everybody, but that's not common, right? Mm-hmm. The going trend is that seniors tend to turn out at much higher rates than young people, but he did the exact opposite. He brought young people back to the polls. And you might think that Democrats might step back for a minute and say, I wonder how he did that and what can we learn? And we should probably be embracing somebody who could do that in our politics. And look, we're setting up to do the same thing in 2026. At the end of the day, I take the notion that in politics, power is never given, it's taken quite seriously. Mm-hmm. And our job is to take the argument to the people, because all power shall be vested in the people. And our job is to go and listen and learn and understand the challenges people face, and then deliver on the message I keep hearing that they want money out of their politics. They want money back in their pockets, and they want Medicare for all. And when we do that, I think we are going to upend the conventional wisdom about what a winning candidate in Michigan looks like. And if you could do it in Michigan, right, you could do it anywhere, which means that all eyes are going to be on our state, as they should be, given that we are literally the middle of the country, the crossroads of our politics. And so I don't pay much mind to what folks out in the rest of the country are interested in, or politicians based out of DC. I pay a lot more mind to the folks I've gotten to hear from across the 57 cities in my state I've traveled. And I'm paying attention to what they want. I'm going to deliver on what they need. And when we do, there's going to be a bit of an earthquake out of Michigan that I do hope is going to be able to change our politics for the better.
You mentioned Medicare a couple of times now. We have all watched in horror, frankly, at the ways in which this administration, the Trump administration, I guess, has shown up in this fight to save Medicare. What's your critique of Trump and Medicare?
Well, look, we've all maybe dabbled with ChatGPT, and it's an interesting tool. I don't think we want ChatGPT deciding whether or not grandma gets healthcare, but that's what they're setting up to do, right? They want to use AI for prior authorization, which means that when a doctor tells your grandma that she needs care, that they got to check with the AI to make sure that grandma really needs care. That is a dangerous precedent. And it is a scary thing to think that you're going to use these AIs to decide whether or not grandma gets care. It's like an AI death panel. And that to me is really scary. It is crossing a Rubicon that I don't think you can uncross. And you're talking about the healthcare that our seniors worked their entire careers to be able to get. I'm somebody who believes that we need more Medicare, not less. I'm somebody who believes we need Medicare for all. And the idea that they're going to put AI in a position to remand doctors who actually spent time getting to know their patients and making decisions together in front of getting that care, I think all of us ought to be pretty worried about that.
I'd be remiss to talk to any candidate for any office out of the state of Michigan and not ask this question, which is what you make of essentially the union busting that this administration is doing.
It is a scary thing. I'm a second generation union member, and I'm proud of my union card. I'm proud of the work unions have done to deliver everything from a middle class to basic workplace safety to the weekend. And the idea that you want to bust unions is entirely about the work that Donald Trump has tried to do, which is to enrich people like himself, his fellow billionaires, over the well-being of working people. He lied to folks. I mean, straight up lied to folks, telling them that he was on the side of the working person. He never was. And if you look at what he's done with this administration, the ways that he's coming after unions, the tax cuts he's passing for the richest folk in our society at the cost of basic health care for other folk, all of that redounds to what he was always about. And I think union busting, to me, is the canary in the coal mine when it comes to the kind of economy that a president wants to build. If they really wanted to build an economy that worked for working people, they start with empowering unions. And if they want to deliver for billionaires, they start by busting unions. And this should tell us everything about where this president wants to go. And so I sit here in the heart of Michigan, UAW country, AFL country, Teamsters country, and we're going to be out here fighting alongside our unions for better wages, for fair contracts, for the kind of work environments that are dignifying of the people who do the work.
I've got 2 minutes left here. I could have started our conversation here, but it makes sense to end it here. I'm always fascinated by the backstory, as this audience knows. How did you end up a progressive?
Yeah, well, look, I watched my grandma's life. I understood that the cousins that I got to spend my time with in Egypt, these were folks who were just as smart, just as capable, just as everything as me. They just never got the opportunities. I think about the kids growing up in Detroit, 15 minutes away from where I grew up, just north of the city. And the fact that their family's been here far longer than mine, didn't get the same opportunities. So you're either about making opportunity for people who don't have them or making more for the people who already do. And I decided a long time ago, I want to be about making opportunity for the people who don't have those opportunities. And that has influenced the decision to be a doctor, the decision to work in public health, and ultimately the decision to run for office.
Abdul El-Sayed is a physician and epidemiologist. He ran Wayne County's Department of Health and Human and Veterans Services. As I mentioned earlier, a Rhodes Scholar, and Bernie Sanders and others are high on him and what he can potentially pull off in the state of Michigan. So I am honored to have had him on this program. I'll be watching your campaign in the days, weeks, and months to come, and perhaps have you back on this program as we get closer. But thank you for your time today. I deeply appreciate you.
Brother Tavis, I look forward to it, and thank you again for having me.
My great honor. More of Tavis when we come forward, including a final conversation today with Justin J. Pearson, one of those Justins out of Tennessee, who acted with such courage when they were expelled from the State House and went back and won them seats again. I ain't mad at him. We'll talk to Justin J. Pearson in a moment when we come forward.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Hillary Clinton says Ukraine's fight against Russia is a fight for all of us, calling it our war.
If that's what President Trump is now recognizing, more to him. I'm glad to see it.
Her comments came on MSNBC's Morning Joe a day after President Trump met with Ukraine's President Zelensky and said Ukraine could reclaim all its territory. Wells Fargo is settling a lawsuit over fake DEI interviews for jobs already filled. The lawsuit alleges that Wells Fargo conducted sham interviews to meet diversity hiring mandates. The bank denies wrongdoing, but court approval is expected by October 13th. And Black DC Metro Transit officer Cachet Fields uses her photographic memory to ID suspects and solve major crimes. As a Bolo specialist, she's helped crack cases from robbery to homicide, earning praise for her sharp mind and respect for all. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers will have trouble getting past the first round of the playoffs if their bullpen doesn't perform better. Shohei Ohtani had 8 strikeouts and a 4-0 lead after going 6 innings last night at Arizona. The Dodgers ended up losing 5-4. Arizona scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th off reliever Tanner Scott. It was Scott's 10th blown save this season, highest in the major leagues. Ohtani has not given up a run in each of his last 3 starts, but the Dodgers have lost each game. The Dodgers are going to need their relievers to step up to win another World Series championship. Top 5 college football teams in this week's HBCU Top 25 poll: Jackson State, Alabama State, North Carolina Central, South Carolina State, and Alabama A&M. 2-1 Jackson State is the only HBCU team ranked in this week's NCAA Division I AA poll. Jackson State, ranked number 17, is at Southern University on Saturday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. They are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right. Yeah. Happiness is when you really feel good about somebody.
Let's go to Memphis. Let's go to Memphis, Tennessee. Why not some Al Green? In this half hour, a conversation with Tennessee State Rep Justin J. Pearson about Donald Trump's threat to send National Guard troops to Memphis. You'll recall the two Justins who became Democratic heroes as members of the Tennessee Three, courageously fighting back against their expulsion from the State House and winning back their House seats. That's a baller move, and I ain't mad at them. They just ran again and got those seats back. And Justin J. Pearson continues doing his great work and witness in the Tennessee State House. Before I put him up on the line, here is Donald Trump talking about sending troops to Memphis.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
that's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. And the governor, Tennessee. The governor is happy. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington. So we're going to Memphis. I'm just announcing that now, and we'll straighten that out.
National Guard.
The National Guard and anybody else we need. And by the way, we'll bring in the military too if we need it. But National Guard.
I'm going to play a clip for you a little later where the mayor of Memphis basically says the devil is a lie. I am not happy about what Donald Trump is doing, but I digress for now. Representative Pearson, how are you, my friend?
Oh, good to hear your voice. Glad to be with you.
It's good to hear your voice as well. So just talk to me about your initial reaction when you heard Donald Trump put Memphis on the list.
Yeah, immediately my thought was keep Memphis' name out your mouth. Look, Donald Trump is a wannabe dictator who is pushing this authoritarian regime into existence by destroying our democracy. And we have to see it very clearly for what it is. He's a white supremacist and attacking black-led cities in particular under the guise that he's worried about crime, when in fact it was about the protection of property of a billionaire who owns a railway company that goes through Memphis that told him he should send the National Guard. And so that's the guise that they're using. But we need to pay attention because the elections are coming and they're going to be deploying the National Guard across more cities during that time, in my opinion. For the midterms and then for the presidential election. We can't sit idly by as we watch our democracy crumbling in front of our face, not crumbling, being destroyed in front of our face by Donald Trump.
Yeah. When you say we can't sit idly by, we ought to be paying attention. We ought to be doing what then?
At this moment, we ought to be organizing. We have to organize resistance against Donald Trump, governors like Governor Bill Lee here in Tennessee. And we've got a new organization of over 50 different community groups that started called Free the 901 that is formed out of this attack on our democracy and our rights. But we have to organize at the family level, at the neighborhood level, and at the community level to resist this and to demand our elected officials, whether they be the mayor, the city councilor, the state representatives, the state senators, speak up and speak out against this lie about crime and black criminality. And stand up for poverty eradication, not military occupation.
Yep. I hear you suggest earlier that, and you're right about this, obviously, that Donald Trump is using crime as a ruse to basically invade cities that happen to have African-American mayors. We've seen that all across the country. This audience gets that. I don't need to unpack that. But in many of these cities, in fact, all of these cities, I'm thinking of LA, where I sit right now, as you know, in Baltimore, in Chicago, crime, in fact, is down. In many of these cities, in DC included, crime is at record lows right about now. So again, we know that crime issue is a ruse for Donald Trump. But talk to me about crime in Memphis.
Look, we know we have crime in Memphis because we have laws at the state legislature that is giving everybody who wants a firearm access to it, even at the age of 18. The problems that we have are being systemically and systematically caused by the policies and inaction of Republicans who are in positions of power. Governor Bill Lee, Speaker Cameron Sexton, Lieutenant Governor Rand McNally, Jack Johnson. These folks are in power. So if there's a problem with crime in our city, it's because they have created it. But the facts, the data show that crime is actually going down in our communities, going down in our cities. Is it going down quickly enough? No. Do we want to get to where we have zero homicides? Yes. Do we want to get to a place where nobody's robbing? Yes. But you will never deal with the problem of crime without addressing the root causes of poverty. And that's the issue that I have with this conversation. And our elected officials need to demand that the governor, demand that the president give us $10 billion in resources to house everyone, provide health care, create youth programs and youth community centers for them to be able to participate in. We can deal with the issues of crime, but we can't do that if we're continually being denied access to resources as we have been under Governor Lee and under this administration.
You heard Representative Pearson mention elected officials a moment ago. I told you I was going to play another clip for you because Donald Trump suggested in the earlier clip that you heard that the mayor of Memphis was happy about his plan to send the National Guard there. Take a listen to this clip. Listen for yourself.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis that's the next city. Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard. I am looking forward to trying to find ways to invest in the things that we're already doing to address crime in our city. We've seen significant reductions over the past 2 years since we've been in office, and we want to continue that work. We want more investment in the violence interrupters and the individuals that are out working to intervene and prevent crime before it takes place. We want more support for our law enforcement in terms of investigations. So those are the things that we do want. With regards to the National Guard, it is something that we don't have a choice in, and we're going to do all that we can to make sure that it has limited impact on our community.
That is Memphis Mayor Paul Young pushing back on that notion that Donald Trump suggested that he was happy. The mayor was happy about the National Guard coming. Not altogether true. You know what occurs to me, Representative Pearson, I want to just tee this up, and when we come forward in a moment, I'll let you respond to this. But Donald Trump, under the guise, under the rules of crime being out of control in Memphis, even as crime numbers are going down, you just heard the mayor say, Donald Trump is pushing into Memphis eventually here with the National Guard. And what's fascinating about that to me is that the crime that we have seen most recently, the story that has gotten the most media attention about crime in Memphis, is on the part of the police. I'm talking, of course, about the murder of Tyree Nichols. I wonder how you process that Donald Trump is talking about crime, and I'm not trying to demonize or cast aspersion on law enforcement across the board. That's not my point. My point is he's talking about crime being out of control in Memphis, but the crime that everybody saw, the crime that everybody's been talking about, is what the police did to the people. We'll pick up on that note with Justin Pearson when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of Black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling Black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandlost.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
I never can say goodbye. No. I never can say goodbye. No. Even though the pain and height seem to follow me wherever I go, though I try to hide my feelings, they always seem to show. And then you try to say you're leaving me, and I always have to say no. Tell me why is it so that I never can say goodbye? No.
It's always good when you're talking to somebody in Memphis to weave in some of the best of Memphis. We played some Al Green earlier, now a little Isaac Hayes for you. Our guest is Tennessee State Rep Justin J. Pearson. In case you just tuned in, talking about Donald Trump threatening to send National Guard troops to Memphis. You heard me say a moment ago, before I forget right quick, I jumped so fast in this conversation. I did not get a chance to say to you, which I've been wanting to say to you, congratulations on your relatively recent nuptials, Representative Pearson.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I saw that in the news that you are now betrothed, and so I wanted to just congratulate you on that, you and your bride. So you heard me say a moment ago that Donald Trump is using crime as a ruse to, again, send these National Guard troops and the military he promised, if necessary, into Memphis. But the storyline that we've all been watching for a couple of years is what the police are doing to the people, namely the murder of Tyree Nichols.
Yeah. I mean, look, we do not have a good relationship with law enforcement when they over-police our communities. And the reality is, Mr. Tyree Nichols' death highlighted the fact that a stop, even for a minor traffic violation, if it did occur, can ultimately lead to our deaths. And it is a painful reminder for Black Americans in particular who deal with this reality. And so when you talk about increasing policing and over-policing, particularly Black communities or lower income communities, it's added traumatization of the very places that you are saying are in need of help. But you don't see the same level of care, concern, investment into affordable housing, giving adequate educational opportunities or job opportunities to our communities. We're just told the only thing we deserve, in effect, is more police who aren't always sensitive to our lived experiences and the reality that many folks are just struggling to survive in a system of plantation economics.
Plantation economics. I love it. When we come forward in our remaining moments with Justin J. Pearson, you heard him mention earlier a coalition they've curated, brought together called Free the 901. I want to close asking about Free the 901 and what they are doing in the days before these National Guard troops arrive in Memphis. What's the game plan before they get there? We'll close with that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
More honesty than you can handle.
More empowerment than you can imagine.
You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
It is hard to get a bad meal. Hard to get a bad meal in Memphis, and impossible to not be surrounded by great music when you're in Memphis. That's Booker T and the MGs. So gave you a little Al Green, gave you a little Isaac Hayes, some Booker T and the MGs. So much great music out of Memphis over the years. Any excuse to play some of the greats from Memphis. I ain't got to Otis Redding yet. When you are talking to somebody from Memphis, like State Rep Justin J. Pearson. Again, we've been talking in this half hour about Donald Trump threatening to send National Guard troops to Memphis. They'd be the next city. And the representative mentioned earlier that they've brought together a coalition called Free the 901. Tell me more about Free the 901, what the game plan is before these troops arrive.
Yep. So as we have done for centuries, we are organizing and keeping our community informed, engaged, and activated to resist authoritarianism, to resist the destruction of our democracy. And so over 50 community organizations across race, class, issues have gotten together to create one umbrella group called Free the 901 on Instagram. It's free_the 901 because we realize the only way we're going to resist is if we stick together, if we fight together. And so we're organizing Know Your Rights trainings, canvassing, knocking on different doors, letting people know what's happening, and we'll be prepared when and if the National Guard does arrive in our city.
How likely do you think, I mean, none of us has a crystal ball, but Donald Trump was posturing for a long time about sending National Guard troops to Chicago, as you recall. And Brandon Johnson, the mayor there, and the governor, Mr. Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker, they went on full offense and said, don't even think about it. The devil is a lie. And as we sit here right now, he has not as yet sent those troops to Chicago. So is any of this, you think, Donald Trump just talking trash and that it may not actually result in troops in Memphis if the pushback is strong enough?
Exactly. I mean, we have to push back. We have to fight back. We have to stand up. We have to show that we aren't cowards. That we aren't willing to just accept that this is our plight and do nothing. I think that weakness is something that authoritarians thrive on. That's something that wannabe dictators want to see. You cower and bow down, or as I'm saying more now, obeying in advance. We cannot obey in advance. We have to build the resistance. And we're taking the few elected officials with some courage, and we're standing up and we're fighting back and we're speaking up. And for people who want to, cower down or bow down to Governor Lee and President Trump, you know what? They're welcome to do that. But Memphis, we're not going.
Yep. Did I read somewhere that there was a resolution in the Memphis City Council to stop the National Guard deployment that did not pass?
Yes. So we had a resolution yesterday to just tell the governor we don't want the National Guard there, and it didn't pass. It was a split vote, and Robert's Rules of Order. That means it doesn't pass. And there was some. I'm still trying to figure out what happened there because we need unity.
Yeah.
In this moment in time. For the consequences are going to be vast, they're going to be deep, and we need to have unity. But if our elected officials don't lead us, then we, the people who empower them, we're going to lead us.
Yeah. Somebody once said that courage is contagious, and all of us were empowered by the courage of Justin J. Pearson when they did in fact expel him, and he bounced back. And again, as I said earlier, continuing to engage his work and witness, always thrilled, delighted, grateful to be in conversation with my friend and brother, State Rep out of Tennessee, Justin J. Pearson. Keep fighting, man. We'll talk to you soon. We'll stay on top of this.
Absolutely. Thank you for fighting with
me. My pleasure, man. Stay strong. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow. I'll do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And there it is. Oh yeah, we got it in. Otis Redding to close out this hour. Speaking of Memphis. All right, until tomorrow, keep the faith.